Today, we're diving into the world of cinematic what-ifs as we explore the top 10 actors who missed out on blockbuster sequels. Grab your popcorn, dim the lights, and settle in as we journey through alternate realities where our favorite stars could have shined even brighter. Our journey begins with the talented Laurence Fishburne, who masterfully portrayed the enigmatic Morpheus in the groundbreaking Matrix trilogy. Despite his character's unforgettable presence, Fishburne wasn't asked back for the Matrix Resurrections. Rumor has it that this decision may have had something to do with the franchise's online video game, which saw Morpheus meeting his end. While fans were disappointed by his absence, The Matrix Resurrections still managed to be a hit, garnering praise for its bold visuals and thought-provoking themes. As for Fishburne, he continued to thrive in the industry, delivering powerful performances in both film and television. This versatile actor's career remained unscathed by this unexpected detour in the Matrix saga. Next up is the enigmatic Hugo Weaving, who brought the sinister Agent Smith to life with chilling precision in the Matrix series. Weaving was negotiating to reprise his role in The Matrix Resurrections, but unfortunately, his Australian theater commitments couldn't align with the film's demanding schedule. Despite the setback, The Matrix Resurrections proved to be a box office success, showcasing that the franchise's spirit could endure even without some of its most beloved characters. As for Weaving, his dedication to his craft saw him flourishing both on stage and screen, captivating audiences with his remarkable talent and diverse roles. Undoubtedly, this extraordinary actor's star continues to shine brightly. Rick Moranis, the endearing comic actor who portrayed the lovable Louis Tully in the original Ghostbusters, turned down the chance to appear in the franchise's sequels. With a reputation for being selective with his roles, Moranis opted to stay true to his principles and pursue projects that resonated with his taste. Despite his absence, the Ghostbusters sequels achieved considerable success, delighting fans with their supernatural adventures. Meanwhile, Moranis continued to enchant audiences with his comedic prowess, cementing his status as a beloved figure in the entertainment world. The legendary Robert Duvall, who brilliantly portrayed the cunning Tom Hagen in the first two installments of the Godfather series, turned down the opportunity to reprise his role in The Godfather Part 3. The reason? Duvall felt that the producers lowballed him with their financial offer, deeming it insufficient for an actor of his caliber. Even without Duvall's iconic character, the movie achieved moderate success, though it couldn't quite reach the heights of its predecessors. As for Duvall, his acting career continued to flourish, earning him numerous accolades and critical acclaim for his powerful performances. TALIA, SHIRE, and Sylvester Stallone stole our hearts as the loving couple Adrian and Rocky in the original Rocky movie and 4 unforgettable sequels. Their relationship formed the very foundation of the film series. Fast forward to 2006, and we find Rocky in a new chapter of his life as a retired widower in Rocky Balboa. Adrian had sadly passed away 4 years prior, but SHIRE believes this was crucial for the film's narrative. Sylvester and TALIA had a heart-to-heart more than a year before production, agreeing that depicting Rocky as a widower with a deep sense of longing and loss would strengthen the storyline. Although Adrian was no longer physically present, her spirit remained very much alive in Rocky's heart. Kelly McGillis, who played Charlie Blackwood, the Top Gun instructor, and Maverick's Tom Cruise love interest in the 1986 action drama Top Gun, was not asked to return for the long-awaited sequel Top Gun Maverick. McGillis, who had stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight to focus on her sobriety and family, gave a candid response, stating that she no longer looked the part. Academy Award winner Jennifer Connelly stepped in as Maverick's new love interest, Penny Benjamin. The film, which also didn't bring back Meg Ryan's character, became a blockbuster success, while director Joseph Kosinski introduced new characters to keep the storyline fresh. Will Smith, who skyrocketed to Hollywood stardom as Captain Stephen Hiller in 1996's Independence Day, chose to work on Suicide Squad instead of reprising his role in the sequel, Independence Day: Resurgence. Citing scheduling conflicts, Smith's absence left director Roland Emmerich and his team with the challenge of rewriting the script in just 2 weeks. The film revealed that Hiller had died while testing an experimental alien hybrid fighter. Unfortunately, Independence Day: Resurgence underperformed at the box office, leaving fans to wonder how things might have been different with Smith on board. THORA BIRCH, who portrayed Danny in the 1993 cult hit Hocus Pocus, could not reprise her role in the 2022 sequel due to scheduling conflicts. While the original Sanderson sister witches, played by Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, all returned, Birch, Omri Katz, Max, and Vanessa Shaw, Allison, were missing from the sequel. Despite these omissions, Hocus Pocus 2 paid homage to the original film while introducing a new story to enchant a new generation of fans. Michael Douglas, who portrayed Detective Nick Curran in the provocative 1992 thriller Basic Instinct, declined to return for the sequel, Basic Instinct 2. The actor cited concerns over his age and the state of his buttocks as reasons for not reprising his role. Despite his absence, Basic Instinct 2 was released in 2006, with Sharon Stone returning as the enigmatic Catherine Trammell. Unfortunately, the sequel failed to live up to the success of its predecessor, both critically and commercially. As for Douglas, his career continued to flourish, with the actor taking on various roles and earning accolades for his powerful performances. The decision to step away from Basic Instinct 2 did not hinder his status as an esteemed Hollywood actor. Melinda Dillon, who played the loving mother in the 1983 holiday classic A Christmas Story, was fully retired when the time came to make the sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas. Unable to reprise her role, the filmmakers cast Julie Hagerty to take her place. The sequel aimed to capture the original film's magic, but, as is often the case with holiday classics, it struggled to fully recreate the charm and nostalgia that made A Christmas Story so beloved. As for Dillon, her decision to remain in retirement did not affect her legacy as an accomplished actress who had left an indelible mark on the world of cinema, particularly with her heartwarming portrayal in A Christmas Story. Could everyone's favorite Aussie actress, the dazzling Margot Robbie, be swapping her baseball bat for a touch of invisibility? We all know Margot Robbie, the queen of elegance, our Hollywood Barbie lighting up the screen with every performance. From her Oscar nomination for I, Tanya, to playing Harley Quinn in the DC Universe, Margot's diverse acting repertoire is something to behold. Now, let's add a pinch of excitement to the mix. Can you imagine our lovely Harley Quinn trading in her bright red and blue for a slick, invisible suit? Yup, you heard me right. Recent whispers suggest that Margot may be shifting allegiances, leaving the streets of Gotham for the glitz and glamour of Marvel. This 32-year-old, who's been serving up unforgettable performances, is rumored to be on the brink of joining the big leagues of the MCU, stepping into the role of Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, in the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. Insider Daniel Richtman through The Direct recently dropped the scoop that Margot Robbie might be stepping into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, as none other than Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four reboot. According to Richtman, the studio has reportedly offered Robbie the role of Sue Storm, alongside Adam Driver as Mr. Fantastic, Paul Mescal as the Human Torch, and Daveed Diggs as the ever-lovable Rock, Ben Grimm. The plot thickens when you remember that James Gunn, the man behind DC's Suicide Squad, has previously expressed his keen interest in working with Robbie again. In his words, she's the best actor he'd ever worked with, bar none. So, this Fantastic Four rumor just amps up the excitement and makes us wonder, could we see Margot Robbie in dual roles, becoming a shared gem between DC and Marvel? It would certainly be a comic book crossover for the ages. And while these are just rumors, as always, we've got to take them with a grain of salt. But come on, who wouldn't want to see Margot Robbie bring her unique style to the MCU, adding an extra dose of charm to the Fantastic Four? As we wait for the official news, we continue to daydream about what this potential casting could mean for the Fantastic Four reboot, set to hit the big screen on Valentine's Day 2025. So keep those fingers crossed and stay tuned for more exciting news from Tinseltown. Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. Get ready to gasp in disbelief as we reveal the jaw-dropping truth about Rachel McAdams' career choices. While Nicholas Holt's recent lost roles in the Batman Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Top Gun Maverick made headlines, it's nothing compared to the A-list projects McAdams turned down one after another. In a recent Bustle profile, it was revealed that during her 2-year hiatus in Canada after hitting it big with Mean Girls and The Notebook, McAdams turned down offers for not 1, not 2, but 5 major blockbuster movies. She said no to The Devil Wears Prada, Casino Royale, Mission Impossible 3, Iron Man, and Get Smart. Rachel McAdams has shared some wise words about the importance of following your instincts, even when it means turning down incredible opportunities. When her career was skyrocketing, McAdams made the tough decision to say no to multiple film projects despite feeling guilty about potentially missing out. She said in an interview, "There were definitely some anxious moments of wondering if I was just throwing it all away. And why was I doing that? It's taken years to understand what I intuitively was doing." Find out why McAdams made these shocking career decisions and what she thinks about them now in this captivating exposé. Rachel McAdams shocked fans when it was revealed she turned down the role in the iconic movie The Devil Wears Prada. According to director David Frankel, McAdams was actually their top choice for the role of Andy Sachs, even before they started negotiations with Anne Hathaway. The studio was so determined to cast McAdams that they reportedly offered her the role not once, not twice, but 3 times. However, despite their persistence, McAdams was resolute in her decision to turn down the role. The casting process for The Devil Wears Prada was a roller coaster ride, with big names like Natalie Portman, Kate Hudson, Kirsten Dunst, and Scarlett Johansson all considered for the part. But it was Anne Hathaway who ultimately snagged the role. After campaigning hard to convince the studio she was the perfect fit. And boy, did Hathaway deliver. Despite reportedly being the 9th choice, her performance as Andy Sachs was nothing short of amazing.
Who are you?
My name is Andy Sachs. I recently graduated from Northwestern University.
And what are you doing here?
Well, I think I could do a good job as your assistant.
Hold on to your martini glasses, folks, because we're about to reveal the second blockbuster movie that Rachel McAdams turned down. Casino Royale! Can you imagine McAdams as a Bond girl? Well, it's a bummer that we missed out on that. We got the amazing Eva Green instead. And let's be real, Green killed it as Vesper Lynd in the film. From her stunning looks to her raw talent, Green brought the character to life in a way that left us all shaken, not stirred. Who could forget that iconic scene where she first meets Bond on the train, or when she confesses her love for him in the shower? Green's performance was nothing short of unforgettable, and we couldn't be happier that she was cast in the role. So, while we can only imagine what a Rachel McAdams Bond girl would have looked like, we can't deny that Green was the perfect choice for the part. In what could have been a major career move for the actress, McAdams opted out of the action-packed Mission Impossible franchise. But as she stated in an interview with Bustle, the project simply wasn't quite jiving with my personality and what she needed to stay sane. But while McAdams may have passed on the opportunity to work with Tom Cruise and company, another actress was ready and willing to take her place: Scarlett Johansson. Initially cast in Mission Impossible 3, when Joe Carnahan was at the helm, Johansson was already busy training for stunts with Cruise when J.J. Abrams took over as director and changes were made to the cast. Rumors swirled about why Johansson ultimately didn't end up in the film, with some speculating that she was fired or left due to script changes and delays. And then there's the rumor that Johansson refused Cruise's invitation to join his Scientology church, leading to her departure from the project. In the end, the role of a leading lady went to Michelle Monaghan, who proved to be the perfect love interest for Cruise's character, Ethan Hunt. Monaghan's chemistry with Cruise was off the charts, and her charm shone through in every scene. While we may never know what could have been with McAdams or Johansson, we can't deny that Monaghan's performance was the perfect fit for the franchise. Did you know that the Hollywood darling once turned down the chance to star in Iron Man? That's right, McAdams revealed to Bustle that she was offered the role of Pepper Potts but ultimately turned it down to focus on her personal life and family. While we can't imagine anyone else playing the role besides Gwyneth Paltrow, it's intriguing to think about what McAdams' portrayal of the beloved character would have been like. But don't worry, McAdams eventually made her way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Christine Palmer in Doctor Strange and the upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And let's be real, McAdams' incredible talent and undeniable charm make her a welcome addition to any blockbuster franchise, even if it was a little later than we all would have liked.
In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, what could have been? Rachel McAdams was reportedly in talks to star alongside Steve Carell in the reboot of the classic spy comedy Get Smart. The talented actress could have stepped into Anne Hathaway's shoes as Agent 99, Carell's witty and capable partner in espionage. While we can only imagine how awesome it would have been to see McAdams and Carell team up, Hathaway definitely held her own in the role, delivering an unforgettable performance. Despite missing out on the opportunity to star in Get Smart, McAdams' impressive resume speaks for itself.
Max, Max, stay calm. Max, keep it together. Max.
Even though it must have been hard to resist the allure of all that fame and fortune, McAdams knew deep down that those films just weren't a good fit for her. And with classics like Mean Girls and The Notebook under her belt, who can blame her for sticking to her guns? Despite the success of those missed opportunities, McAdams has no regrets and recognizes that the right actors were ultimately cast in those roles. It's all good, and she's got plenty of exciting projects on the horizon, like her upcoming film, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, hitting theaters soon. Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. Did you know that Russell Crowe almost walked away from one of his most iconic roles in Gladiator due to a bizarre original script? Today, we're diving into this fascinating story and the journey from a peculiar concept to a blockbuster film. So grab your popcorn and let's get started. Today, we're chatting about how Russell Crowe almost said adios to Ridley Scott's 2000 historical epic Gladiator. This Oscar-winning movie, which raked in a whopping $503 million worldwide, had a rather strange start, according to Crowe's recent interview with Vanity Fair. Despite his confidence as a leading man, Crowe felt uneasy about the world surrounding him in Gladiator. The original script was, in his words, absolute rubbish, featuring peculiar sequences like gladiators promoting olive oil on their chariots. Although based on real historical endorsements, Crowe knew that modern audiences would be left scratching their heads. But thanks to ongoing conversations with Ridley Scott, Crowe stayed on board. Scott promised that nothing would be filmed without Crowe's 100% belief in it. By the time they started filming, they only had 21 pages of an agreed-upon script, which typically spans around 100 to 110 pages. So they had quite the journey ahead, making up the story as they went along. Fast forward to today, and Gladiator is considered a classic. Ridley Scott is now preparing to direct the long-awaited sequel with Paul Mescal taking over the franchise, playing Lucius, the son of Lucilla. So there you have it, folks. The incredible story of how Gladiator went from a potential disaster to a box office sensation. Who knew that chariots with olive oil ads would have been a deal breaker? If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie magic. And remember, sometimes a leap of faith can lead to greatness. Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. Are you ready to say goodbye to one of the greatest adventure movie franchises of all time? That's right, folks. After 4 decades of epic adventures, Indiana Jones is hanging up his fedora and cracking his whip one last time in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the 5th and final film in the franchise. Our journey began in 1981 with the phenomenal Raiders of the Lost Ark. And since then, we've witnessed Ford's audacious exploits as the dauntless archaeologist in the 1984 prequel, The Temple of Doom, and the 1989 sequel, The Last Crusade. After a long intermission, Ford bounced back in 2008 with The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and now he's all set to embark on the crowning adventure in this 5th and final installment, With excitement for Indiana Jones 5 skyrocketing, Disney has swooped in to clear the air, confirming that this film will indeed mark the end of the epic franchise. Their latest press release hails the Dial of Destiny as the long-awaited final act in this treasured saga. James Mangold, who takes the reins from Spielberg, describes the movie as the pinnacle of Indiana Jones adventures. Although Harrison Ford has hinted in the past that he'll be hanging up his fedora, it's the first time Disney has set the record straight, solidifying the Dial of Destiny as the grand finale fans have been waiting for. So, why is the Indiana Jones franchise wrapping up, you ask? Well, it boils down to our beloved Harrison Ford, who at the spry age of 80 isn't quite as eager to dive into action-packed stunts anymore. To top it off, while shooting Dial of Destiny, Ford even suffered a shoulder injury during a fight rehearsal, prompting a few behind-the-scenes tweaks for his recovery. By bringing the curtain down with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, fans hope the adored franchise can make a stylish exit, steering clear of any potential missteps with less-than-stellar spin-offs featuring side characters. There's been some buzz about an Indiana Jones TV show brewing over at Disney+, with Mangold mentioning that it wouldn't center on Ford's daring archaeologist. But plot twist. Word on the street is that the series might be hitting the chopping block, especially now that Disney's declared Dial of Destiny the grand finale of the franchise. This unexpected revelation is sure to crank up the hype meter as fans everywhere gear up for an unforgettable summer with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny hitting theaters, as we brace ourselves for the exhilarating climax of the Indiana Jones saga. It's the perfect time to venture into the realm of fan theories and predictions for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. From riveting plot speculations to nods to past films, and even some surprising character evolutions, there's no shortage of thrilling ideas about what lies in store for our favorite fedora-clad hero. So what do you think? Will there be unexpected twists or familiar faces making a comeback? Share your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below, and let's embark on this final adventure together as we uncover the secrets of the Dial of Destiny. Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. The spellbinding allure of a movie frequently hinges on the chemistry between its characters, and Grease perfectly embodies this. The legendary pairing of John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John infused the film with their irresistible magnetism. Intriguingly, their on-screen romance reflected a simmering tension beneath the surface, leading, as Newton-John disclosed, to an authentic mutual attraction. Heartbreakingly, the world lost Olivia Newton-John on August 8, 2022, when she was 73. Back when Grease was filmed, she was only 28 and nearly skipped out on the role. Imagine, it could have been Carrie Fisher or Marie Osmond. But fate had other plans. Newton-John stepped up, and she and Travolta even locked lips in a surprise, unscripted moment, though the scene never made it to the final cut. With chemistry so effortless and electric, it's no wonder audiences speculated about the true nature of Travolta and Newton-John's relationship. Both stars openly acknowledged their connection. In her autobiography, Don't Stop Believin', Newton-John admitted, "Yes, we really liked each other and there was an attraction." Travolta also confirmed their mutual feelings. When asked point-blank about the sexual tension between them, he candidly replied, "I think you saw that in You're the One That I Want. There's almost a resolution of that tension right there." From the get-go, Travolta and Newton-John formed a deep connection, and Travolta actually played a crucial role in Newton-John's casting. Initially, the execs considered other actresses for Sandy, while Newton-John hesitated due to past projects that left her feeling disheartened. Travolta, however, was adamant. "There's only one person that should play this role, and it's Olivia Newton-John. She's every guy's dream." And just like that, their meaningful bond took root. The day Travolta personally convinced Newton-John was truly unforgettable. She reminisced, "I went outside to be greeted by those piercing blue eyes and the warmest smile on the planet," she recalled. In person, John Travolta radiates pure joy and love. "That day, he greeted me with a big hug like we were already lifelong friends. How could you say no to John Travolta?" At one point, Grease featured an unscripted finale where the stars sealed their romance with a spontaneous kiss. Although it didn't make it into the final movie, their lips still met at the premiere's after-party, sparking whispers about their off-screen chemistry. As it turned out, those rumors were repeatedly confirmed by both Travolta and Newton-John themselves. And there you have it, a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the magnetic connection between these two legendary stars. The next time you watch Grease, remember the captivating love story that unfolded, both on and off the screen. It's a testament to the power of true chemistry and a reminder that sometimes life imitates art in the most enchanting ways.
They've touched our hearts, they've made us smile, and became dear friends, who we will always remain hopelessly devoted to.
Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. Imagine being offered a role in the sequel of the highest-grossing movie ever and saying, "No thanks." Well, that's precisely what Michelle Rodriguez did. In the 2009 sci-fi sensation Avatar, Michelle Rodriguez first graced the screen as Trudy Chacon. As a combat pilot working for the Avatar program, Trudy's heart was with the Na'vi people. So much so that she gave her life in a heroic battle, ensuring the Na'vi could triumph against the not-so-nice humans attempting to seize control of Pandora. Last year's release, Avatar: The Way of the Water, marked the franchise's much-anticipated sequel. Interestingly, it featured the return of Miles Quaritch, played by Stephen Lang, despite his character's untimely demise in the first film. When Michelle Rodriguez caught up with Jim Cameron, he entertained the idea of her making a comeback too. But Michelle put her foot down, reminding him that her character had died a martyr's death, and bringing her back just wouldn't make sense. This Fast and Furious superstar had a heart-to-heart with Vanity Fair, explaining why she told James Cameron that reviving her Avatar character would be, in her words, overkill.
Avatar, we gonna see you in the third one?
Oh, I wish, man. My death was a martyr's death.
You see, Michelle's been brought back from the dead 3 times already in her career, so one more might just be pushing it. Michelle didn't hesitate to remind Cameron of her many cinematic resurrections. She pointed out, "I came back in Resident Evil, I wasn't supposed to. I came back in Machete, I wasn't supposed to. I came back with Letty, I wasn't supposed to. We can't do a 4th time. That would be overkill." Rodriguez even expressed her confusion over this odd trend of her dead characters returning to life, joking that perhaps they just can't figure out what to do with a girl who doesn't have a boyfriend, so they keep killing her off and then reviving her. Saying no to an Avatar sequel is no small matter. We're talking about one of the most monumental movie franchises in history. The original Avatar still holds the crown as the highest-grossing movie ever, raking in a jaw-dropping $2.9 billion globally. Fast forward 13 years, and Avatar: The Way of Water shook the box office with a whopping $2.3 billion, making it the 3rd highest-grossing film in history. In its first 2 weeks alone, it bagged $1 billion, surpassing even Cameron's own 1997 masterpiece, Titanic. Critics loved it too, with NME giving it a glowing 4-star review, calling it a groundbreaking, visually stunning film. The Avatar universe is far from done expanding. Back in 2016, it was revealed that 4 sequels were in the pipeline, which would include Avatar: The Way of Water, Avatar: The Seedbearer, Avatar: The Tulkun Rider, and Avatar: The Quest for Iwa. As for Michelle Rodriguez, she's got a busy first half of 2023 with the release of Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which is already out, and the upcoming Fast 10 set to hit screens in May, courtesy of Universal Pictures. So what's the deal with Michelle Rodriguez's characters meeting their maker so often on screen? It's something that hasn't gone unnoticed by fans, sparking lively online debates about her tendency for on-screen demises, from Lost to Avatar and Resident Evil. Michelle weighed in on the topic during a 2023 Wired autocomplete interview, saying, "They always kill me. They're like, she doesn't have a boyfriend. We don't know what the purpose of this strong female is." Chris Pine chimed in, pointing out that fans love her enough to bring her back to life, to which Rodriguez agreed, but questioned, "Why kill me in the first place?" Despite her character's short lifespans, Rodriguez appreciates the roles she's taken on. She admitted to Hollywood News, I was typecast the minute I did a film called Girl Fight years ago. You allow yourself to be typecast. If she ever wanted to break the mold, she'd choose an indie film where she'd play a character going through a harrowing experience, potentially earning herself an award for portraying vulnerability or mental illness. Despite this intriguing pattern in Rodriguez's career, where her characters are repeatedly killed off and brought back to life, there's no denying that Michelle Rodriguez has carved out a unique niche for herself in the film industry, consistently captivating audiences with her strong, memorable characters. Stick around, Story Reels fans. Our next story is coming up right now. Looks like we have to get ready to say goodbye to one of the all-time greats in Hollywood. After over 6 decades of captivating audiences with his talent, Clint Eastwood may be getting ready to hang up his directorial hat for good. With a filmography of almost 50 movies under his belt, it's hard to imagine the world of film without him. But according to Discussing Film, Eastwood has already begun working on his final directorial project, signaling that the end of his legendary career may be drawing near. Are you ready to see how this iconic filmmaker will end his incredible run in the movie industry? Clint Eastwood's final directorial project is reportedly set to be distributed by none other than Warner Brothers. This isn't surprising, as Eastwood has been in cahoots with the legendary studio for almost 50 years, directing 10 films for them since his 2008 masterpiece, Gran Torino. You might remember some of his other Warner Brothers hits, like American Sniper, Sully, and Richard Jewell, all of which left audiences on the edge of their seats. And let's not forget about his latest film, Cry Macho, which was also distributed by Warner Brothers and HBO Max. It's clear that Eastwood and Warner Brothers have a long and fruitful history together, and we can't wait to see what magic they'll create with his final project. Looks like there's been a bit of a shakeup in the upper echelons of Hollywood, as some insiders are pointing to a possible change in attitude at Warner Brothers. Apparently, the studio's new CEO, David Zaslav, wasn't initially sold on the idea of continuing the partnership with Clint Eastwood after last year's acquisition of Warner Media by Discovery. Rumors even suggest that Zaslav wasn't keen on greenlighting Eastwood's most recent film, Cry Macho, and allegedly stated that the decision was made purely because of Eastwood's involvement. "We don't owe anyone any favors," he reportedly said. But now, with reports emerging that Eastwood's final directorial project will also be distributed by Warner Brothers, it seems like the CEO may have changed his tune. It'll be interesting to see how this relationship develops, and whether this marks a new era for the studio under Zaslav's leadership. According to reports, Clint Eastwood's final directorial project is tentatively titled Juror Number 2 and centers around a juror who begins to suspect that he may actually be the murderer in a high-profile trial. Talk about a twist. As the story unfolds, we'll see the juror grapple with the moral dilemma of either coming clean and turning himself in, or resorting to manipulative tactics to sway the rest of the jury in his favor. This promises to be an intense and gripping tale that will keep audiences on the edge of their seats until the very end. Can't wait to see what Eastwood has in store for us with this one. It also looks like Clint Eastwood is keeping us guessing when it comes to his retirement plans. While reports are swirling about his upcoming thriller, the legendary filmmaker himself hasn't made any public statements about stepping down from the director's chair. That said, at 93 years old, with over 50 years of directing under his belt and 4 Academy Awards to his name, it's certainly understandable that he may be considering retirement soon. But let's focus on the exciting news at hand. Eastwood has expressed interest in writing and directing Juror Number 2, which promises to be a captivating and suspenseful film. And we've even heard whispers that he might be looking to cast a young Hollywood star in the lead role, adding a fresh perspective to his signature filmmaking style. Whether or not this marks the end of an era for Eastwood, one thing is for sure. We can't wait to see what he has in store for us with Juror Number 2. Did you know that Clint Eastwood's upcoming thriller, Juror Number 2, is set to be his 40th film as a director? This milestone adds yet another impressive accomplishment to his already illustrious career as both a director and actor. But it's not just the sheer quantity of his work that's impressive. Eastwood is known for his unique and efficient approach to filmmaking, often using a one-take method and delivering films within budget. This sets him apart from his peers in Tinseltown and has earned him numerous accolades, including multiple Academy Award nominations and wins for Best Director and Best Picture for his unforgettable films Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. And let's not forget about the other cinematic gems he's directed, such as the gripping drama Mystic River, the powerful war film Letters from Iwo Jima, and the haunting 2008 drama Changeling, which starred none other than Angelina Jolie. With a career as storied and impressive as Eastwood's, it's no wonder that Juror Number 2 is one of the most highly anticipated films of the year. This is Story Reels. Subscribe to our channel for the very best in entertainment. And don't forget to hit the like button to see more stories like this in your recommendations. Now, before you go, why don't you check out this next awesome video that we know you're going to love. Thanks for joining me and watching Story Reels.